Hey, what's up, guys? Let's check to make sure. All right, we are live on YouTube. We are live on Rumble. Sweet. Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. I figured, hey, we haven't talked about stuff in a while, so let's see what's happening in the old realm of pop culture. The good, the bad, the ugly, maybe the demonic, depending on who's doing what. So, I mean, obviously, just scrolling along Twitter and you just see a bunch of stuff. So I found some topics that I'm interested in talking about. So one of the ones that caught my eye over on Niche Gamer is they actually did a review of the Neon Genesis Evangelion Collector's Edition, apparently the Blu-ray. So I wanted to check out what that had to in store. So uh, Evangelion's like my favorite anime of all time. So interested to see. I didn't know there was a collector's edition. I knew there was a Blu-ray edition. I didn't know if there was like a difference or when it came out. This was not too long ago. So let me let me share my screen. Like I said, over on Niche Gamer, wabam. Fix that. All right. So, article came out November 15th. Pretty cool. So let's see what this all has to in store. Can I not get rid of that? Come on. Dude, Niche Gamer. Look at that. I can even highlight it to say close and it doesn't shut it off. You buttholes. Ugh. Turds. I can't even get like rid of it unless I go full screen or something. No, I think I tried doing that. And let's do this real quick. Can I close you now from this? Exit full screen. Do that. Close. I don't know. It's being an asshole. Oh well. Oh. Well, my apologies. I have to figure out a way to remove that. So, Neon Genesis Evangelion Collector's Edition, the Blu-ray review. You're going through your, if you're going through your life being you, but then you see Michael Parr wearing a long trench coat, making out with a girl in the rain, black lit by neon, then you just know that something is different now. It's like a thought that had been internalized within, and you realize, hey, this is me now. For a lot of guys today, it's Drive 2011. But for teenage weebs in the 90s, Neon Genesis Evangelion was that paradigm shift moment. So, amidst the endless memes surrounding Evangelion, of course, it can be hard for people to recall a time when it was a novel or when it was novel. There had always been dramatic mecha anime before. Well, I'm going to argue right then and there that Evangelion's really not a mecha anime. But this one hit differently than anything else and managed to penetrate the zeitgeist in ways Pat Labor and Macros didn't. I thought Hidekiano straight up said that he pretty much just used the mecha trope, as a way to kind of lure people in and then just hit them with a sad, depressing dose of reality. So, despite being one season of 26 episode, probably, I mean, what was it? Samurai Champloo was 26. 26 or like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood to me is like the perfect anime length of a season. It's really all you need. Evangelion is endured in ways much longer running anime hasn't. How did they do it? Does it hold up after all this time? Is it everything it is hyped up to be? I would say so. And honestly, a lot of the animes out here nowadays would not be here if it wasn't for Ava. Hate to tell you guys that, but that's usually how it goes. Is that the 90s animes were influenced by the 80s, and then your 90s kind of influenced the 2000s, and then from there it kind of plateaued, I think, to where you get new stuff presented here and there, but other than that, it was like, yeah, that that 90s early 2000 anime era was just to me it was like full of possibilities and like just countless of ideas and stuff like that nowadays a lot of anime nowadays is just it's decent, it's okay. And then of course you have your garbage isekai, which has to use reincarnation as a trope to where literally you don't need to use an isekai. That's probably one of the things that I don't like about all this isekai that's coming out is you don't need to use isekai as a means to establish your story. Just say it, just start it off as is. You don't need to showcase that someone died and then got reanimated as whatever to justify why everything is the way it is inside that world. Just start it off as is. So I want to see what this. All right, guy next. Kahara, Toei, Tatsunoko. There you go. Pretty straightforward. They're definitely using the pictures from the platinum edition. I have the platinum edition. Such a groundbreaking and popular anime, Evangelion was not widely available for a while. There was a DVD that went out pretty quickly. I have that, and became absurdly costly indeed. And the Japanese Blu-rays did not have any English options included at all. Okay, yeah, I thought so. I thought there was just the Blu-ray version, and now there's a collector's edition. And then there was that limited one that came out. I don't know. G Kids and Shout Factory have finally assembled the definitive viewing experience for all 26 and the movies, the end of Evangelion. I will be the judge if this is the definitive viewing. I will tell you that right now. Just kidding. There's a lot more hardcore Eva fans than me, but I mean, I'll tell you to watch, what is it? Episodes 1 TV. Watch the TV series episodes 1 through 23, then the director's cut of 24, 25, then the end of Evangelion movie, and then 26. If I remember right. I always tell people if they've never seen Ava to like watch this specific order to kind of really understand a lot of stuff, even though you're probably not going to understand it. And then don't even bother with Rebuild. Wait till after you watch the OG. So the collector's edition effectively comes with 2 sets of all the episodes and the movies. What about the director's cut? If it doesn't come with the director's cut, you're missing out because the director's cut adds stuff to it that was necessary to kind of tie in some stuff. Not a whole lot, but a good chunk. With the extras, the set is a total of 11 discs for Blu-ray, divided into 3. Well, I guess you're getting the movies. You don't really need to watch Death and Rebirth. That's kind of just a recap. Divided into 3 numbered cases with distinct colors that represent the respective AVA unit designation. Also included is a hefty episode guidebook full of art and design, prints on glossy paper. But the thing that was good about the Platinum Edition is that you actually got notes from the studios and stuff to kind of really understand what's happening. And if that's not included in here, that's a big downvote for me. Because that was the one thing about the Platinum Edition that was awesome. It had like, not only did it have the artwork and stuff, but it had notes and everything. And for anybody that's joining, I'm sorry I can't get rid of the niche gamer thing. Unless, I don't know, there's like a browser tab or something like that. Or a browser tab. And a browser extension that gets rid of that. The standout inclusion is the 8 art cards that are printed on heavy-duty matte cardstock. I mean, okay. I mean, I don't mind the illustrations. I think they're quite beautiful, but they're to me, I want to find stuff that's never been seen before, you know? Kind of like in Ghostbusters 2, where there's the whole Ray possessed scene that you can kind of see in like promos and deleted scenes and then scenes they actually used in the movies, but you never fully see the entire scene. But you know it's out there because there's actual footage that kind of help tie it in together. The only time you see the possessed scene is in the comic movie adaptation of Ghostbusters 2, but that's getting off a little off tangent here. So these are beautiful illustrations from Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, the artist who designed all the characters. His style is what can be best described as quintessential anime. He has a very refined understanding of posing and composition, and his use of rich colors and shapes make him one of the best in the medium. There you go. Prime example of what that delicious art style is. The packaging for this set feels sturdy. I mean, I don't. Okay, good. I'm glad it's sturdy. Like, what else is in here? The black box with warning hexes is minimalistic and bold. It makes a statement when on a shelf, and when you squint, it kind of looks like the monolith of 2001: A Space Odyssey. The set goes for a whopping $219.98 because that tax is going to push it over to $220, which is a tall order even for the most dedicated fans. For some of the people I know, that's nothing. For newcomers, this will be alienating, and maybe better off with the standard edition, which is around $40. Sadly, interested parties who opt for the standard edition will only have the Netflix dub as their English buyout, which is that right there is 100% bullshit. The Netflix dub can lick my giant asshole. We want the OG audio. Which honestly, if you look hard enough, you can actually find people who have ripped the Blu-ray versions and sunk up the original audio with it, because I have those. But I also have the platinum one. I mean, the platinum ones I think are now going to like $500, like complete, if that's what you're looking for. So that 220 price isn't looking that terrible. But that's garbage though. If the standard version only comes with a Netflix dubbing, the Netflix dub is almost unlistenable since the translation is very little and characters don't speak naturally. Yeah, which I don't understand why. Well, they even got which is funny because they even got the Shinji and Kaoru, what all the LGBTQ people freak out about, even though it's not at all about that the homosexuality and stuff like that. It's literally an angel understanding the human psyche and emotions more so than anybody in the show. He understood that Shinji wanted unconditional love and was asking nothing in return for it. Ugh. But they even changed that to "I like you," which isn't even correct. Fans who prefer subs won't need to bother with this set at all. Very true. But for those who grew up watching in the 90s in English, there's no other choice. The crew at ADV was right to punch up some dialogue where needed and took the necessary liberties to make lines flow more naturally. And I remember reading an article about the guy who did the Netflix dub and how he was like, "Oh, this is more accurate and literal and stuff like that." That's just downplaying the 90s dialogue and the work that went into translating it. It's actually a very good translation, despite its, I'm sure it's clutteriness and other stuff like that. But it's actually a very good translation. If you actually listen to like kind of the behind the scenes and stuff, the people who did it took it very seriously. I mean, this is what happens when you listen to a very minimum fringe group of people and decided to, oh my gosh. Sorry about that. But yeah, supposedly, I also remember reading, or supposedly there was a rumor that when like some hidden executives like went to a showing of Ava and everybody was like making fun of it or something like that. Supposedly, I remember reading something about that, but the reason why anyone would want this expensive set is because they would want Ava in HD and with the ADV dub, and because the Ultimate Edition is even more outrageously expensive. Yeah, the Ultimate Edition. My friend got that. I remember that. Only 5,000 copies of the Ultimate Editions were made, and it already fetches prices around the 500 range. I mean, that's no different than the Platinum one. Suddenly, 220 seems almost okay. The article is literally like covering what I just said. Especially since the differences are mainly a 156-page art book and packaging. After you felt the sting of buying an expensive box set of Evangelion and completely ignoring the disc with the Netflix dub, you're ready to get started. Whether you're growing up watching this or have been exposed to countless memes, fan art, and pop culture references, you begin and are smacked with one of the most iconic, memorable intros of all time. All right, so you have your Cruel Angels theses. Oh, that sucks. So the memes that you aren't supposed to skip the intro make sense, but sadly the outro regrettably lost the "Fly Me to the Moon" arrangement due to licensing. Really? That sucks. That's like part of the Ava experience is the "Fly Me to the Moon." And if I'm not mistaken, the Japanese voice actors and actresses sang versions of "Fly Me to the Moon." Has been replaced with "Hostility Restrained," a piano piece from the show's score. Man, that's garbage. So you can't even okay. They felt it's appropriate to show the screenshot of the thermal expansion part of the show. In the year 2015, oh man, yeah, we're well beyond 2015. Looks like they didn't get it right. Okay, so this is kind of just giving you a brief lowdown of what Ava's all about. I mean, I'm not going to read the summary of like the show. I would just encourage people to go watch it. I just want to see what else is included in this in this collector's edition. Okay, Death True 2 was a re-edit of the previously released Death and Rebirth, a compilation film that had left many viewers scratching their heads in utter befuddlement. Then the end of Ava, a reimagining of the last two episodes of the T. It's not a reimagining. It's actually what Hideki Anno wanted. It's just that budget issues and all that stuff kind of crept in there, unfortunately. But they do kind of tie in together. The video games had secret and classified information that no one knowed about that actually gave you a little bit more information about like the first ancestral race, the first uh, ancestral race and other stuff about that that a lot of people didn't know about. Once again, we get boob shots. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so it comes in 1080p. I would hope so. Coded high definition. The original broadcast aspect ratio, apparently full framed, is preserved. Very nice. The theatrical features are a widescreen aspect ratio. So digital noise reduction is restrained here, ensuring that there's some fine grain throughout. Sadly, episode 16's negative were lost. Oh, that sucks. I didn't know that. And it was upscaled from standard definition. Still better looking than some releases, but it stands out in this set. Ah, that's lame. Prepare to have your ears blown off by lossless audio, including English DTS HD, Master Audio 5.1, 2.0, and then your Japanese version. Whether you're a purist who prefers the original Japanese dub or a fan of the ADV dub, you're covered. And I'm assuming that's only for the collector's edition. Special mention must be given to the ADV voice actors who brought the characters to life. Shinji Ikari's voice actor Spike Spencer delivers a performance. Yep. Did what else in Keith as Masato? Tiffany Grant as Asuka. All right. So yeah, it really the article really padded the review. I mean, it does say a review, but it really pads it to with just kind of explaining the whole lore or a quick explanation of Neon Genesis Evangelion. So we got some info about exactly what it all contains. I'm a tad disappointed. These stock cards I don't really care about. The illustration book, I feel you could just go out and buy an Evangelion art book if you wanted to, unless these are like some original ones that have not seen the light of day until now. Again, yeah, again, I mean I have the platinum edition, the best plant version of the platinum edition because there was two of them. One of them had the whole series just with standard DVD covers, and then you had DVD covers of each specific one in like a silver type covering that all fit into a book, and it came with like the inserts and all that stuff too. So to me, that one I can probably go get it here real quick. Yeah. Yeah, so this one's the out of print one, but here's your platinum edition that are not in order because I was looking at them too, but as you can see, each one has its own. You have your box cover, then you have your original covers, and then inside is your DVD with inserts with notes from Hideki Anno and everyone else to kind of set up everything. And then, like I said, there's the I think the other one was a steelbook version. That one's kind of the same as this one. But what's unique about these is that these I actually come with the director's cut version. And the director's cut version actually gives you a lot of information that you kind of don't get in the original. So I know, like I said, like the article said, this one's out of print. I don't know how much it goes on eBay. I think last I checked, it's like 500. So it's like what they state in the article. It's probably the around the same price as the rare Blu-ray one with the Netflix dub and the original dub. And I also snagged the rare Death and Rebirth and End of Evangelion double disc set. This one came with an adhesive iron-on sticker and a mouse pad. So that one to me is probably the best one yet. Like the only way to make that one better is to get the Blu-ray version and just kind of hybrid everything together, which people have already done online. So unfortunately, yo-hoing a lot of stuff is the way to is the way to go nowadays because the industry is not caring about the fan base enough to understand what they really want. So an interesting one. That one caught my eye. I'm an Ava fan, so I just went ahead and snagged it. So we'll move on to another topic here, and that is kind of a big fiasco happening at the moment, and that is The Last of Us Part 2. I have played that game. It's hot garbage. I've already made a comment about it on how based on this on how this Ma- Mazuko's side revenge story in Ghost of Tsushima is like that alone is a better revenge story than the entire revenge story of The Last of Us Part 2. Because I've said this before, The Last of Us Part 2 was the prime candidate to take it and turn it into the golden calf idol that people were hoping would expand out into the video game industries to showcase on how wokeism and progressivism an SJW logic can be successful, even though it's hot garbage. So you see this is over on VGC, Video Game Chronicles, and The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster officially announced for PS5, upgrade path detailed. So now you wonderful PS4 owners can upgrade to that PS5 version for a reduced cost, not for free. You want to play the quote remastered version, got to pay for it. My first reaction to this is that this is hot garbage. Like, this is retarded. Why do you need to remaster? And it's getting to the point where remastering of games is a cop-out way of ignoring creating games that people actually want and just remaster old games and use that as a cover up to fix stuff that they hate that made the game successful or what have you, and fix it to make it more modernized. We've heard this before. We hear this all the time. Updated for a modern audience and all that bullshit. No one's buying it. Everyone sees what's happening. Now, granted, your Resident Evil remakes and stuff like that is good. Komanga says, hey, Power Cat Greg over on YouTube. What's up, man? We're just hanging out, looking at the old pop culture news and making fun of it if we need to, and pointing out the ridiculousness of certain stuff. Thanks for swinging by. Right now, we're covering The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster and how it's 100% completely unnecessary. So following earlier leaks, Naughty Dog has officially announced The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered for the PS5, coming out on January 19th, 2024. I unfortunately bought the special edition, played it, and then immediately returned it because I realized I wasted my money on it. I was hoping it wasn't going to be the case, but it was. It's a cash grab by Sony. Yeah. So the game, which will be released on the set date that I just said, will also receive a physical deluxe edition. Oh my gosh. It's bad enough people got suckered into buy the first deluxe edition. Now you're going to be slapping on the remastered deluxe edition. So the WLF edition. Oh, it's actually listed down here below. There you go. Here's your WLF edition. Will include steel book display case. Why would anyone ever want to display it? 4 enamel pins. Again, why would you want to wear said enamel pins? A Washington Liberation front patch. Again, will probably never really be sewn onto anybody's jacket or backpack. And a total of 47 Society of Champions trading cards, including 8 holographics cards. What? Who cares? This is just in general. Look, I collect trading cards. I've collected trading cards. In fact, I still have my Dragon Ball Z trading cards right here. Still have decks. Card games still trying to be kept alive, mostly online software, Facebook groups. Let me tell you something that isn't going to happen. Is there's not going to be tournaments to where people are going to go and look around and hope that someone else has these trading cards of The Last of Us Part 2 and are desperately trying to trade to get new cards. It ain't happening. I'm sorry, but deluxe editions that include trading cards to me are completely pointless. So this version of the game being exclusively available at PlayStation Direct in the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Benelux, or Benelux, I guess, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and Austria. Naughty Dog also confirmed that PS4 owners will be able to upgrade to the PS5 version of the game for a whopping $10, even though you've already bought in the game and you should get it for free. It's the same garbage that Nintendo unfortunately pulls out with their ports. Back when, you had your Wii shop and Wii U shop. Buy that port of Super Mario Brothers 3 that we've already released like 3 times. Saves for the PS4 game will also carry over into The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. It's actually an announcer trailer. Why would you? Oh my goodness. Anyway, despite 2021's The Last of Us Part 1 coming to PC, there's no mention of this release arriving on any platforms aside from the PS5. Well, of course it's not going to go on any other platforms. Remaster will include full DualSense support, developer commentary, and lost levels, which never made it to the game's final release. Oh my gosh. My goodness. Does that mean there was more SJW bullshit that they couldn't fist inside of its asshole? That they can now finally do it because it's remastered now. We can do it. A new set of lost levels makes me think of Super Mario Brothers, the lost levels, even though it's Super Mario Brothers 2. Part 2 Remaster allows players a unique chance to check out some playable sequences previously cut from the game. These aren't fully finished levels, but rather early development slices that not only let you see some new glimpse of Part 2's world, but also include embedded developer commentary to give them richer context. Oh man. So you guys want to get justified on why these were cut or what they did to in the levels? There you go. You can hear the developer commentary. Explore these spaces and hear directly from the team about the intention of aspects of each level. This is a unique inclusion from our studio, and we're excited to allow players a glimpse into the creative process. Oh boy. Including native. Okay, so you got your enhanced graphics, native 4K output in fidelity mode, 1440p upscale to 4K in performance mode, and unlocked frame rate option for TVs that support VRR, increased texture resolution, increased level of detail distances, improved shadow quality, animation, sampling rate. I have never played The Last of Us games. The first one's okay. It's good. It's not the masterpiece everyone claims it is, by all means. I'll be the first to tell you that. And then the second one's hot garbage because they sacrificed it to, like I said, to make it an example of how wokeism and progressivism in the video game industry can sell. Don't have the receipts, but I am 100% positive that all the awards they won were super rigged, just to push that narrative, that idea of, see, we can do it. This is what people want. Apparently, the remaster will also feature a roguelike mode. What does that mean? The description of the mode reads, experience The Last of Us Part 2's deep combat. Dude, there is no deep combat. This is bullshit. There is no deep combat in The Last of Us Part 2. Even in The Last of Us Part 1. I'm sorry, but the combat, the controls are okay. They're like your other games. There is no deep combat. Ted Cruz, Zodiac Killer, over on Rumble, says they obviously needed to put more chicks in it and make it even gayer. Gayer than what it already is. Absolutely. And I'm one of the people that said if the game honestly just focused with Abby, I wouldn't have cared. Because I'm pretty sure that's what they originally did to it. And then your feminist activist assholes said, no, we want more Ellie and Joel, even though their story was literally told. Okay, so deep combat via an entirely new mode. Survive as long as you can in each run as you choose your path through a series of randomized encounters. So it's a survival mode. What's so special about that? I'm 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 loving this. If this legitimately reads deep combat, there is no deep combat in The Last of Us Part 2. Sorry. Not even in Part 1. There is no combat. Deep combat. Play as a host of different unlockable characters, some never before playable in the Last of Us franchise, each with unique gameplay traits. The variety of challenges features different foes and memorable locations from throughout part two, all accumulating intense boss battles. Dude, some never before playable, unlockable characters, considering it's a linear game, to where in the first one you can play as what? Ellie and Joel. That's it. Second one, Ellie and Abby. That's it. Oh my gosh. This just sounds terrible. It sounds desperate. That's what it sounds like. It sounds this reeks of pure desperation. And this is again going with the idea of the all these remaster stuff. They don't want to put in the time to create like actual good games, games that people might actually be interested in, and instead are just praying and hoping that if we just remaster this one game from the past that the fans of it will be fine with it and come in. It's one thing to rebuild it from the ground up, like Resident Evil does, and like what Shadow of the Colossus did. Shadow of the Colossus, I've said before, and I'll say it again, is a prime example of a remastered, done right, to the T, the very definition of what a remastered should be, built from the ground up, did absolutely nothing to the story. In fact, added a little bit of some new scenes into it that didn't change the story one bit whatsoever, kept everything of what made Shadow of the Colossus, and that's it. Boom, you're done. I'm not watching the trailer because I'm not giving it views. All right, so that was from Video Game Chronicles. I'm sure we have Bounding into Comics. I wonder if Bounding into Comics have any. Let's see. Last of Us. It's an old article, but apparently the Last of Us developer Naughty Dog reportedly cuts 25 positions. Unaffected staff allegedly told not to publicly discuss the layoffs. Ha! Oh, Naughty Dogs.
Huh. Go yourself.
All right, so let me check out Niche Gamer, see if Niche Gamer has anything else to add on The Last of Us Part 2. So that was already garbage news to begin with. They do 2 days ago. Let's see if they add anything else. Unfortunately, you're going to get that video game thing again that I can't get rid of with this Super Mario Brothers video playing down here. So whether you're already played and even platinum The Last of Us Part 2, who would waste their time planting The Last of Us Part 2? I agree with that bird. Pigeon from Mike Tyson Mysteries. He's my boy. So the engrossing campaign returns alongside technological improvements, new modes, and new behind-the-scene features that will deepen your understanding of Part Two's creation. What's up? What else is there to understand? You sacrificed a mediocre video game storyline on the altar of wokeism. That's all you need to know. Okay, so the mode is called No Return, a roguelike survival mode designed to let players prove their mettle in randomized encounters and experience The Last of Us Part Two's combat in a fresh experience. That's not a fresh experience. Dude, rogue games are also becoming very overused. Mode includes a host of playable characters to choose from, some playable for the first time, which you may have spotted in our trailer, who each come with their own traits. Okay, so we kind of already read that. You're pit against choosing between various stealth and combat encounters of your own that you can choose your own course with unique twists that can add new unexpected factors to any given encounter. Each run will offer a new chance to decide what rewards you get after each encounter, how you spec out your character, and more. Unlock more characters, like combined skin and characters. Unlock more characters, skins, and more as you progress to use in the mode. What's the more? What's the more? Customize your own runs and compete on a global leaderboard as part of a daily run too. Oh boy. Get your name slapped up on the global leaderboard. Oh, apparently it also introduces a new guitar free play mode. You know, when you want to strum a fake guitar as opposed to trying to learn guitar in real life. I'll go play Guitar Hero if I want to play a guitar in a video game. Strum the strings across a host of unlockable instruments. Use audio FX pedals to modulate your performance and play as different characters in several in game locations to customize the mood and feel of your set. Oh my gosh. Man, they are throwing everything at this in the hopes of making this successful. Okay, so we already read about commentary, cut cut levels. We've also included newly recorded director's commentary, the campaign's cutscenes, across the campaign's cutscenes from director Neil Kuckerman, narrative lead Haley Gross, and actors Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson, and Laura Bailey. They assembled to offer insight into the story and its characters that means so much to both our team and our fans. Uh, Maybe the woke fans, not the original fans. They were pissed off at you guys already and downvoted the game up to wazoo because they saw bullshit when it was shown. All right, then I've already read all the aspects of like the technical side of stuff. Takes advantage of the PS5's power and features. The unlockable speedrun mode, okay, included in The Last of Us Part 1, will also be coming to Part 2, allowing players to post their best times. Okay. Who would want to, I mean, if anything, The Last of Us Part 2 is like the prime candidate of encouraging people to start trying out speed runs because you would want to get through that shit as quick as possible. Part 2. They're successful in encouraging people to do that, that's for sure. So you got your bonus skins for Ellie, Abby, and their weapons. Can get a first look in the trailer. And there's photo mode. Wonderful. All right, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, that was some old news too. Voice actor Sung Wong, Pros D Cho criticized race-based casting. This is old news, but this is something that, obviously going in trying to go into the voice acting field is something that I found hilarious and you guys they're getting what they deserve. I want to read this. Like I said, it's kind of old, October 21st. Old news, but I kind of want to see what's up. Gosh, why can I not get rid of this? So fucking garbage. So voice actors Sungwon Chao, better known as Pro ZD, recently posted about how they were only presented the opportunity to read for an Asian character in a recent audition. Well, that's what you guys asked for, right? Why you asked, man, about it? Allegedly, so Cho allegedly was auditioning for an upcoming show and was offered only one character to read for who was the only Asian character in the cast. He asked his manager about the other characters and was told those characters are drawn as white, so no. So then he released his tweets on the incident have since been deleted, but you can find them here. Oh, you pussy. Deleted because he knew that everything that these so-called people were saying happening in the voice acting industry is now coming back at them, and now they're mad about it. Got an audition from Prominent Cartoon where I was sent just the Asian character. Looking through the rest, I told my agent, "Hey, I'm happy to read for this." Sure you are, but can I read for some other characters? To which I was told all of those characters are drawn as white, so no. To add extra insult to injury, the character I got sent was labeled Middle Eastern, Southeast, or Southeast Asian because, that's all the same, right? You can just lump them all as one. Why are you bitching about it? You guys are the assholes who say that whenever a white person gets casted for a supposed African American role or this or that sort of thing, that it should immediately only be given to person of said ethnicity. And now you and now and here you go. You're getting the role. And now you're mad about it. My agent told me that this is just how some major studios are doing things now. Yep. Whoops. Did not mean sorry, did not mean to zoom up on that. Naysayers will go, "Oh, don't you want authentic casting?" That's not naysayers. That's exactly what you fuckers wanted. If your entire main cast is all white and you have one token side character who can apparently just be any type of Asian, this is not a level playing field. It never was. It's an unfair field. If you've been in the industry long enough, Sung, you should know this already. It's an unfair field. And I will say this right now, that anyone who promotes the idea of this person is this ethnicity, so therefore only that ethnicity should be allowed to apply for it. That means you're a terrible actor. That means your acting skills are terrible and subpar and don't stand out amongst the crowd. That's what that tells me. You want to get roles? Get better at acting. Because that's how it always ran. It was never broken. Now, I'll admit that you do get tired hearing the same people over and over and over again, but they're in power. Okay, that's the thing that these people don't understand is both of the people in power and the SJ dubs who are infiltrating the area. They'll eat each other alive. They'll turn on each other. The people in power will use them to showcase on how awesome they are and get those social points, while at the same time not giving them any sort of step up unless you suck their dick pretty much. But then if said people in power give these type of people a level playing field, an opportunity, a directing position, this and that, and they grow and get into that area of power as well, they're going to boot out the people who gave them that power. Like, this is what I've been saying all this time ever since my friend Eric got canceled. It's a dog eat dog world in there. Dog eat dog world in there. And these people think that they're doing the right thing. That's how blinded they are about this. Is they're both using each other and they're both not going to give up that power. It's foolishness. The only way is to get rid of both of them. SJWs are the worst. Yeah, they are. If if to be an SJW, you have to be racist, you have to be a bigot, you have to be a xenophobe, you have to be a homophobe. That's it. If you believe in that ideology, you are everything that you claim to fight against. Because you analyze life, events, situations on the SJW checkbox that you constantly tote inside your head and draw conclusions on. You check it off, and then you get mad about it, and then look around and hope that people come up and pat you on the back saying you did a good job and that you showcase where how much you support equality and diversity and stuff like that. But when in actuality, you are the epitome of racism and bigotry and all this stuff in its pure rawest form. That's the greatest irony of having woke ideology. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. This is not new. For another show recently with a large cast of characters, I was only sent the audition sides for the characters who exclusively speak Mandarin. I don't speak Mandarin. It's demoralizing, and as much as I love voiceover, the future looks bleaker every day. Fuck you, asshole. You're the one who wanted it, so now you're ass mad because you're losing out money. Isn't it amazing when you just go back to the idea of you audition, and if that's the voice that the director sees that character having, that you get casted? Almost like you're casted based on your skill and your presentation and your acting ability. And you don't have to worry about what ethnicity you are, how you look, what your gender is, what your sex is, because your acting ability in the acting community should be the selling point. But you guys infiltrated the system, infiltrated the area, and said, no, part of the requirement is that, is your race, is your ethnicity, is your sexuality, is all that. And then when companies start doing this sort of thing, you get mad about it because now you're actually realizing you're limiting yourself more as opposed to just keeping your mouth shut, auditioning for the roles, and pray and hope that you are casted. To be clear, this was not my agent's decision. They have sent me plenty of white characters, but then why bring it up? Before and have been nothing but supportive. This is what they were told by the people in charge of casting the show, who listen to idiots like you. You're your own worst enemy. All right, so small article, but it just go a beautiful showcasing of the hypocrisy of what's happening in the industry and how it was never broken to begin with. Everything was perfectly fine. And I've talked to people in the industry who straight up said none of this was ever prominent and any of this sort of frustration and stuff always happened behind scenes. It never affected the quality of the presented medium, and it should stay that fucking way. But nope, they don't want it. Well, that was pretty funny. That was funny. Old news, I know, but I figured I'd comment on it. All right. So, kind of tying off of what we kind of talked and looked into a little bit earlier with The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster. I have not played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a game I want to get around to playing eventually. So apparently the remake is reportedly not being worked on. This is from Bounding into Comics. A new report claims that the previous announced Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is no longer being worked on at any studio. This news report comes from Jeff Grubb at Giant Bomb, who stated on a recent live stream, this game is not being worked on right now. Just full stop. This game is not being worked on in any way at any studio. So the game was originally announced by Lucasfilm Games, PlayStation, and Aspyr back in 2021 during a PlayStation showcase. At the time, Aspyr lead producer Ryan Treadwell revealed that the game would be a complete remake. Treadwell would ask, "Is this like a remaster of the original game? What's going on here?" He responded, "It's so much more, Sid. This is a complete remake of this beloved Star Wars story. For KOTOR, we are rebuilding from the ground up while maintaining the integrity and story from the original." Schumann then asked, "So Ryan, how much of a remake are we talking about here? Is this updating some graphics, adding some higher resolution modes?" He responded, "The original KOTOR is a true classic and one of our favorite Star Wars story ever. We want to honor that original story and make it as impactful for players today." Okay. So don't best not change anything and best not slap that retarded made for modern audience bullshit in there. Even with the new Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater remake, you have to slap in some warning that some viewpoints are outdated and stuff, which Konami can just shove that right back up their asshole because that warning is for people who never cared about the the Metal Gear Solid series to begin with, nor are they even probably video game fans. Uh, when they think of video games, they just think of a means to leave their mushroom stamp imprint on a field that they never cared about or love, but just want that big old SP, that's those social points. So in terms of the visuals, we have the opportunity to present the story with a much higher level of fidelity than was possible in the past, while making sure that we are being authentic to what players loved about the original game. He added, so by May 2022, Embracer Group's board member Matthew Karch announced that Evil Dead developer Saber Interactive was working with Aspyr on the remake. All right, so we're just getting some information about what was happening leading up to this announcement here. And especially when you're talking about a game already old, very old, where basically had to remake that game from scratch. I mean, what'd you think a remake was going to be? See, this is where the whole remake remaster terminology needs to be more clearly defined. Because the Shadow of the Colossus, that's called a remastered, but they built it kind of from the ground up. Same with Resident Evil remake, that was built from the ground up. I think Shadow of Colossus remaster was built from the ground up. I'm pretty sure it was. It had to have been. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Someone can correct me on that if I'm mistaken. So, unfortunately, for July 22nd, there was a rumor that the game had been indefinitely paused. So, so some people got fired. Following said fires, Sharir reported Aspyr studio heads told staff that the vertical slice wasn't where they wanted it to be and that the project would be paused, according to two people who were in the meeting. He added, one person familiar with the discussion suggested that a disproportionate amount of time and money had gone into the demo and that the project's current course wasn't sustainable. So another rumor, apparently in August 2022, came up, suggested the game's entire production had shifted from Aspyr to Saber. Project formerly in development at Austin, Texas based. Well, there's your problem right there. You're in Austin. Get the hell out of there. Is now being led by one of Saber's interactive Eastern European studios, according to a person familiar with the change who asked not to be identified because the details are private. So one of the group's AAA projects has transitioned to another studio within the group. This was done to ensure the quality bar is where it needed to be for the title. And then during the company's fourth quarter year-end report, they once again got asked the status of KOTOR. And he goes, favorite question, I have no further comments. At the end of September, all the promotional trailers announcing the game were privated on YouTube. Uh-oh. As Sony spokesman informed gay-ass Kotaku that the reason was a license expiration. It's part of normal business. We delist assets with licensed music when the license expires. Sure, you do. At the time, the explanation did not make any sense, given the PlayStation Spain YouTube account still had the trailer publicly listed. It has since been privated. Oh, Texas, what has happened to me? I'm in Dallas, like not deep in Dallas, but outside of it. Luckily, Texas is big enough that we'll still stay red. Everyone was trying to convince that it was purple, but it's not. The only blue stuff are the big cities. Everything else is red. Unfortunately, it's not the same for my home state, Illinois, where because of Chicago, Illinois is blue. When I 100% guarantee if that wasn't the case, it'd be red every fucking time. Most people weren't buying what spokesman was selling, with YouTuber Ryan Kindle. Oh, Ryan, stating after 2 years, it looks like whatever iteration this was in is completely and totally dead. So bad that they deleted any mention of their social media that they're busy making the video private on YouTube. So ex-user Data Racer also stated this was exactly 2 years ago. That's a corporate decision. KOTOR remake is done. So what do you make of these reports from Grub that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is no longer being worked on? So all I can say is that I know for a fact that when KOTOR was on sale on Steam, I got it because people on Steam, specifically in the modding community, have done a good job in trying to preserve this game. There's people who've done restoration patches, HD texture patches, updated gun texture patches. There's a lot of people who have modded stuff to make sure that this game can run with today's technology. So my word of advice to people out there who are a little disappointed about the remake, just get the games on Steam and then mod it. It's getting to the point where the modding community and even which studio? There was like a studio that was bitching about the modding community because it's dangerous, because it could change people's morals and shit like that. I forget which studio said something like this, but that studio can go fuck itself because it's because of the modding community that a lot of these games still are being played to this day. And people who aren't gaining a penny from anything are going out of their way to preserve said game, which to me, I tip my hats off to them because I respect the modding community. I respect the translation modding community because there are games out here that never have made it over US, and there's some amazing games. The modding community is to me saving the video game industry. Maybe not in a gigantic capacity, but a good chunk of it too. Because the video game community is going down this hole of remakes. This is why you're seeing indie games just skyrocketing off because people are actually taking the time to create original games, as original as you can be, I guess you could say, and not having to just bank on a franchise already established, like in the movie community, where, well, people like this franchise. They should love this movie, but your writing is terrible. The characters are unrelatable. You're straight up retconning characters to fit your retarded ideology, and then try to sell it off as like this is the best thing ever when it's not. It's crazy that most big cities across America are liberal. I mean, liberal is one thing. The straight up crazy social justice people, that's a whole nother thing too. That's the unfortunate thing. Because liberals lost its definition to what it is. Because now it's to the point where everyone just thinks of the weirdo SJW ideology stuff, which, I mean, you got your rhinos too. They're all garbage. That's the thing too. They're all in the same blood orgy. That's the real catch 22. They're all in on it. PS3 was the remaster. The next release was the remake. Oh, for Shadow of the Colossus? Yeah. But I think they called it remastered though. Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus had the remaster It was the Shadow and ISO combination. And then you had your PS4 Shadow of the Colossus remaster. I think they called that remaster. I'm gonna just look this up right now. Shadow of the Colossus. Awesome game, by the way. I would recommend it to anyone who has not played it to go check it out because it is awesome. Release. Remake. Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, I had the game. I thought they plastered remastered on like in the title. Shadow of Colossus 2018. Man. Dude, my video game dates, like every time I check on a video game that I feel like is still rather recent and it's like 2018 or something like that, I just go, man, I'm so out of the loop. I could have sworn it said Shadow of the Colossus on the cover. Huh. Guess I'm wrong. It's just called Shadow of the Colossus. All right, so it's officially is the remake. Cool. What's up, Chaos Smash? Honestly, saying SJW has almost lost its meaning doesn't mean I forgive them. Yeah, I despise politicians in general. It's all garbage. All garbage. SJW has almost lost its meaning. I don't think so. I think it still has it there. I think if anything, it just showcases when you hear SJW, you know exactly what you're talking about. Long time no see, Greg. Yeah. Yes, indeed. We're just going over some topics here. It's not going to be a super long show. We're already an hour in. I've talked about Evangelion, collector Blu-ray, some voiceover stuff, KOTOR remake. So just another one that I had pulled up here is the Baldur's Gate Physical Deluxe Edition. Now I liked the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. That's a good game. 3 I'll probably still play even though they inserted all the stuff pandering to the weirdos, but whatever. I just say woke, also bounding in the comic UI is stupid. Yeah. No, I say SJW. I made a tweet recently calling out on how the Ghost of Tsushima revenge story, the side story with Masako, was better than the entire revenge story of Last of Us Part 2, and I called it was an SJW dumpster fire. And a lot of people agree with me, but I pissed off some people. So it still stings people. So why not use it? All right, so here's your physical deluxe edition. All right, so according to the picture, we've got 2 patch. Dude, patches are the gayest thing. It's the gayest thing. Who cares about patches? Original soundtrack, I can understand. The deluxe edition box, yeah. Mind Flare poster, cool. Stickers are retarded. World map, good. Boulder's gay 3. I mean, I'll still play it. I've watched people play it. It's a good game. I personally think it doesn't have the charm because I played 1 and 2, and I feel a lot of the Baldur's Gate charm is somewhat there, but it's kind of gone. But that's a rabbit hole to go down another day. Baldur's Gate 3 is not a D&D fantasy RPG. It's a fetish game. Well, the fact that you have options to turn that off, and I've said this before, if you have the options to turn off all the questionable scenes or implications and stuff like that, then it tells me it didn't need to be there to begin with. If you literally went out of your way to make an option for it, then just get rid of it altogether. And then they got all, what is it, Nexus over in the modding community got all ass mad that if there was any mods that actually just removes all of that to begin with. They ban them. Go fuck yourselves. Did they? Yeah, that was a bit stick. That's where when some people were bitching about Baldur's Gate 3, other people would be like, there's an option that you can turn it off and blah 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 and all this stuff. And my point was, well, then it didn't need to be there. Like you just proved my point. Because when you have something in a game that your argument is, well, you can just turn it off, or it's so minuscule that it doesn't impact the gameplay, that tells me that it didn't need to be there in the beginning. So then why is it there? Oh, I know why it's there. Exactly what I was mentioning about in the first place, because it's catering to a very small group of fringed weirdos. There's literally like porn out there already of people of the characters and stuff like that. That's really what you want. Go look it up. It did not need to be in the video game. Anyway, I know they're banning mods to remove things. Same with Starfield. Yeah, I mean, they already banned stuff of replacing the pride flag with an American flag, which makes no sense to me because America should showcase that you can be whoever you want. That was the whole point of the American flag, to symbolize that everyone can be under the flag. But when you think that when you think America's founded on oppression of what have you, you're going to say that that's offensive. I would just tell them to go to a place that you think you would be accepted in and learn real quick on how much you would not be. Afraid of anime boobs. Afraid of anime boobs but love real life fetishes. It's one thing if you create a game where, like, I don't know, like if you're like a dominatrix or something, then it's to be expected that that's probably going to incorporate a lot of that in there. But if the majority of the game is you going through and like solving quests and fighting evildoers and stuff like that, like I said, I played the original games. Like there was romance in there. It was all in the dialogue because that was part of this. That was the whole part of the thing, the dialogue and the lore behind everything. That was a part of it. You didn't need to visually see it happening because you can just get it through the dialogue. Oh, this is a very short article. So, Larian Studios have announced a new Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe Edition, a physical edition for their acclaimed tactical RPG for PC and console. The new $79.99. Okay, well, that's not bad. Deluxe Edition will be available sometime in Q1 of 2024 for PC, Xbox Series, and PlayStation 5. Pre-orders now are live. That's pretty much it. Since December is coming up, can I recommend a Christmas game? What game would that be? Chaos? All right. Well, unfortunately, sorry guys, I didn't know this article would be, like I said, I just see the articles and I go, hey, that'd be interesting. So this is my first reaction to said article, which is what I like presenting to you guys. So you guys can be shocked with me or annoyed. But yeah, you got your, so stickers, pointless, posters, fine, deluxe box to be expected. Soundtrack, I've never been a big video game soundtrack sort of person, but I know a lot of people like that, so that's fine. World map is cool. Patches, gay, and that's it. So two useless things, patches and stickers. Other than that, if it's only for 80, so I think that's an okay deal, I guess. Ugh. Well, since we're on Niche Gamer, we can see what else is there. Parasite Eve, it's a horror RPG set in New York involving the rebellion of the mitochondria. It even takes place on Christmas. We'll see. How long of an RPG? That's the thing. Cuz I'm going back home for Christmas, so I'll be gone like kind of half of the month. That's the thing. Toilet explodes into fiery inferno in China. Uh-oh. Not too long. Okay. Maybe something to look into. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I've heard this is a lot of mediocre. I heard it's whatever. Oh yeah, this was another one. The Super Mario RPG remake instruction manual is already being sold. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and we'll take a look at this one, and then depending on how long it is, we'll maybe call it down. Simultaneously, the most putranical and degenerate people ever. Each gamer put a review of the game up on the website. Oh, on Parasite Eve. I want to check this out though. Super Mario RPG remake instruction manual is already being resold. So the remake is being positively praised on many different levels. I have played the original. It's good. I wouldn't mind playing the RPG or the remake, including its faithful pamphlets, instructional manual, which are already being resold online. So the Japanese fans of Super Mario RPG have been sharing images of special pamphlet online, describing it as faithful as it recreates pages of the instruction manual for the OG or for the original OG as well. Super Nintendo game. There you go. Man, we didn't get this. That sucked. Looks awesome though. So, despite this, many Japanese Twitter users realize the manuals are already being resold on Japanese marketplace Mercari. Reselling tends to be an issue in Japan, as otaku are known for reselling many things from exclusive limited items from anime movie screens to even copies of The Last of Us Part 2. Oh my goodness, who would want to buy that? I mean, they suckered me into getting it, and I returned that shit real quick. West just gets dog shit. But this just proves right here, like, dude, if you got literally, if the video game industry went back to including manuals, they would sell like hotcakes. Because look at the retail selling. If you're getting upset because people are reselling your limited stuff, then just make it the norm and you'll make money. And you'd give a giant middle finger to the scalpers. Dude, if there's ever like aside from like shitty limited run games and like those companies that make, you know, that make in all intents and purposes customized versions of what it was like back in the day. If you actually had a triple A studio who said, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna go ahead and for this game, we're gonna go old school. We're gonna make it to where the case is worth getting. There's gonna be an actual instruction manual again that has beautiful artwork, colored pages, and all that shit. You know, hell, maybe even make a little tab on the case to showcase how it was back in the day. I guarantee you, if whichever studio first does that, you'll get your money back. Easily done. No matter how many times they claim that, oh, production and the advertisement's so expensive. That's why we can't have a manual and all that stuff has to be made separate, even though you make strategy guidebooks. Makes no sense. But whatever. Telling you right now, prime example right here. People are going crazy snagging up these manuals. Well, oh yeah, this was the voice acting thing. I covered that already. Japanese fans criticize Peach's new look in Princess Peach Showtime. What that? Yeah, she looks fine. Already did the Ava review. Fortunately, corporals are disconnected and would rather take the easy route. Well, I know. I'm just saying. Whichever studio finally decides to take that plunge and then realize on why they've never been doing, like, why haven't they been doing this and stuff, they would probably flip their tune. Oh yeah, live action Legend of Zelda movie announced. Miyamoto and Avi Arad, the chairman of Arad Productions, will serve as producers, and Westball, selected as the director. Nintendo and Sony Pictures Entertainment Incorporated are co-financing the movie. Nintendo contributing more than 50%. So I know a lot of people were like kind of worried about the live action Legend of Zelda. If they do it like how Rurouni Kenshin did, where Netflix isn't involved, so I'm not super worried about that. Boo. I know you're still hesitant about stuff. Many will be curious if the lore or characters will end up being altered. Well, I mean, Miyamoto's there, so hopefully that would put that at bay for the sake of pushing an agenda. As many movies tend to do this now. There's also the fact that video game movies adaptations tend to have a poor track record, but with the good performance of the Mario movie, some might have higher hopes for success. But the Mario movie was all 3D. This is live action, completely different beast. Take a look at what the Princess Peach cover art looks like now. It looks awful. Like, is this it? I guess we'll find out. The box art of the upcoming Princess Peach showtime being changed not only in the West but also Japan. Japanese internet users will quickly share their opinion on Peach's new look. The old box art top compared with the new box art bottom are for those unfamiliar. All right, here we go. So here's the OG right there. Sorry that this is hiding it because I'm not trying to scroll down. All right, so old box art. Okay, looks good, looks smooth. And yeah, it's been westernized. Many were quick to acknowledge that Peach Face has been westernized. There you go. Given a more realistic appearance as opposed to the more feminine look she had before, it is clear this change was likely done to make Peach look more like her design from the Mario Brothers movie, purposely given the film more attention. Introducing Western Peach Face. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't have to capitalize on using that Western look. Yeah, it's disappointing. They should have just left it as is. I personally don't mind the difference between the two, but yeah, if you were going for this originally, had it planned, and then the Mario movie did all its success, and then it's like, well, I guess we should change it to how the Mario movie looks. Nah. Disney flavor. The Kung Fu one is better after the change, but the center one shading is too strong. The character design looks like it was made by a shitty gaijin. It changed from a psychopath's face to a villain's face. Pixar, perhaps? Yes. Political correctness. All right. So oh my gosh. The list just goes on of how many people are salty about this. Thank you, politically correct Nintendo. I like Peach when she has a cute face, but the new one is too girl boss. Oh, this one? I mean, I don't think it's bad. I don't know. I'm personally indifferent about it. I'd be on the team of this side just because if this is how you originally wanted it, then yeah, go and yeah, you should have just left it as is. No need to change anything. That top image was an AI image, actually. It says it's the old box art compared to the new one. Oh well, whatever. Oh, I also heard that Scott Pilgrim is super cucked Scott, and then it's all Ramona. That was pretty funny. The creator of that just said "fuck you" to the fans. I heard Scott Pilgrim versus the World, like that game is really good. I actually need to play one. No, the one at the top of the article. Oh, that one. Oh, that's cool. This one. Eh. Oh yeah, you can see it in the eyes. Not bad though. Whatever. Well, that's all I had planned for tonight. Quick show. So we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up here. Thanks to everyone who decided to come out and hang by. Just wanted to chat and check in how the old pop culture area is doing. And so far, some ups, some downs. Hopefully, things will get better as we go along. But yes, anybody new who enjoyed the show, feel free to smash the subscribe button, punch the thumbs up, help support and boost that algorithm. We were on YouTube and Rumble. I do game streaming around 8 p.m. ish most days. So turn all the more reasons to turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. And I also do this show, the Power Up Podcast, whether it's a solo, a solo show, or with guests. I figured I tried catching you. You do what you like. I just appreciate the support. You Shlomo. Rude. But anyway, you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. So you guys have a good one.
What up, yo?
A ghost.
A ghost.
Yep, you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care and God bless.
Oh, Captain Steve's a fucking horse.